Sandbox is a great way to onboard more brands into Web3. They don't need any specific knowledge about NFTs. They don't need to hire developers to write smart contracts, to launch their collection, to engage their community, to make their game, and to reward them with their NFTs.
Going to the next step, which is now people get to participate into a voting mechanics and also make proposals to really enhance the Sandbox as an ecosystem.
This interview was so much overdue. I know, but hey, here we are, and today is a full update on the Sandbox, the most popular virtual gaming platform. So, joining me on the show is Sebastien Borget, co-founder, and also Cyril Forte, the head of decentralization for the Sandbox and the creator of the Sandbox DAO. Obviously, the Sandbox DAO is not the only latest development at the Sandbox, but it's definitely a big one because it's changing the way the Sandbox thinks about governance and empowers the community and also the creator. They are actually using the platform. They've been doing different kind of initiatives to onboard different communities, and it's very interesting to see how actually the virtual worlds are developing and becoming like their own economy. Before we get into this discussion, remember that there is no financial advice here on the channel, so anything we mention about cryptocurrency, tokens, you shouldn't do any action at the back of our opinion. Remember that any investment in cryptocurrency is very risky. In general, any investment is risky, but what you can do is you need to do your own research, you need to read, and you need to make sure that any investment or any decision to invest that you make is always a sound decision and you know what you're doing. Finally, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please click the subscribe button. I want to have you part of our community. Is so important for us to get your feedback, your comment. You can always reach out to me on Twitter as Stefixi, or you can send me an email at steffi@financialfox.news. Our community is everything. I'm here to create content for you, and I love to have engagement from my audience. Let me know if you like the content, let me know if something is not clear, and let me know if there is anything else that we can do for you. Anyway, this is a really good interview that will give you an overview of the latest development at the Sandbox and a good deep dive into the Sandbox DAO. So let's get straight to the show. Financial Fox is proud to partner with HIVE Digital Technologies, a public listed company focusing on building the green energy infrastructure for the AI revolution. HIVE was the first crypto miner to go public in Canada in 2017. They are also listed on Nasdaq and the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. They hodl, and they are a leader in efficient Bitcoin mining with the best hash rate realization in the industry. They are operational, powered by green energy, hydropower in Sweden and Canada, and geothermal in Ireland. HIVE was also the first crypto miner to buy GPUs, chips, and have an AI strategy. And that's very exciting considering the AI data center are such a high profitable business. Finally, and most importantly, HIVE care about shareholders. That's why their strategy is low dilution, low G&A, and focus on cash flow. If you don't know HIVE, check them out at hivedigitaltechnology.com and follow them on social media. Remember, AI is the future and Bitcoin is rising as a new asset class. Some analysts have a target price above $100,000 for 2024, but let's see. For now, we hodl, and don't forget to check out HIVE. More information in the description. So if we think about the Sandbox, is your vision, or would you describe it more like as a digital world or a virtual world with an element of gaming inside, or it will be more a game that becomes a virtual world?
Sandbox is essentially a platform first that comprises of multiple tools that allows people to be more creative, to free their imagination, environment and publish content. And the content they publish on their virtual land, those are experiences that feature gaming mechanics. And to some extent, they are full games sometimes, and most of the times as well, because of the accessibility of the tools. Fortnite is an example of a game, started as a game, as a single gameplay. That's the same, like first-person shooter, we shoot at each other, trying to kill each other, and then until there's one winner. And because it built up a larger audience, it turns into a platform by opening itself to creation. Sandbox starts as a platform, allows many gameplays and experience that seems disconnected from one to another, but actually belong to the same map, so to that same virtual world that the map materialized, and connected by the avatar, that 3D character, like you can see behind me, that become our digital identity and that can go along all those different worlds created by different people into those different lands. I think the platform is a longer vision because it will take more time to build up, to attract the creators, like the chicken and egg in this very often that's being referred to in the user-generated content realm and the creators economy realms. You need first creators to build, to drive their audience, to attract the people to come and play, and progressively to this snowball effect to grow an audience that become large enough that like there's bigger creators and there's more players and so on. But it's essentially how we've been building it. And I think through being consistent, through being focused and continuing to do what we do, but even better, not necessarily doing a lot of different things, but doing what we do better and better, faster loading time, more fun gameplay, more rewards, more mechanics, and so on. And now the decentralization, we will succeed and we will become bigger and like to the scale of what people see now of Roblox and Fortnite, but 14 years later after they started. I can guarantee you it's not like the massive juggernaut you see today. So that's why we are confident with time and focus, Sandbox can grow to that level.
So let's go to the DAO. I want to introduce Cyril, head of decentralization, and actually the one that actually created the DAO for the Sandbox, to tell us a bit more about the DAO.
Of course. So I've been working on this DAO for the last 8 months, and I'm very, very pleased to have finally been able to release it during NFC Lisbon. But yes, indeed, this DAO is really at the cornerstone of our path towards engaging more and more with the creators, because back in the day when the Sandbox started, it's always been about creator economy, and now we feel like we are going to the next step, which is now people get to participate into a voting mechanics and also make proposals to really enhance the Sandbox as an ecosystem.
So the DAO, like first of all, it's the public face. It's like how like different participants can get to vote and submit proposals. Those proposals are called SIPs, Sandbox Improvement Proposal, and it's built upon a separate foundation, which is an entity incorporated in another jurisdiction with a different management on board than the main company that's building Sandbox and that fundraised recently the 20 million at $1 billion valuation, which ensure like really a separation of the two. That DAO has a 25 million Sand budget per year that is being shared transparently. So when you go to the Sandbox, to sandboxdao.com website, you can see all the proposal, you can see the budget, the allocation, what's remaining this year, and you can see the difference, how it runs, FAQ, a forum as well where can be discussed upcoming proposals, etc.
I think we've been very carefully lay down the foundation for this DAO to be a success. That's why it took us several months, like I was saying off camera in intro, because we want this DAO to be a success. And we looked at many other DAO in the past, and the strategy of progressive decentralization is how we make sure that we're on the right path for success.
Yeah, super interesting. Do you have anything specifically coming up where the DAO could make a significant decision in the future of the Sandbox?
In theory, the DAO, it's basically how to interact with the community, and there's dedicated buckets of money that are here to support initiative. For example, there's a bucket dedicated to content, there's another one dedicated to NFT, another one for charity, for stacking, etc. If you go to our website, sandboxdao.com, you will see how those buckets are all laid down. They can be utilized to, pay for some, what we call SIP, Sandbox Improvement Proposal. But to say that there's major changes to the Sandbox that will come to the DAO, I would say I will call the community to start proposing ideas. But not all of the changes will be automatically executed because there is already a team at Sandbox working behind the scenes to make a better game maker, a better everything. There's constantly improvement going on behind the scenes, and it's not up to the DAO to dictate those improvements. They can make suggestions, but this will always be done hand in hand with the Sandbox, right? Because we cannot just trump what other people at the Sandbox team is doing with this DAO.
So it's kind of like a new layer to engage with the community, really, that you have got, and you basically are requesting them, right, get more involved, let's build together. Now, when we talk about economics of virtual world, it can become quite interesting, but at the same time challenging because, it's not so easy to make sure that actually a virtual world is going to be sustainable long term. So just wanted to pause here and maybe you can add some color. How are you thinking about creating enough incentives and a balanced economics for a virtual world like the Sandbox to be here in 10 years, like you said, Sebastien?
In a way, Sandbox is a digital nation. It now has an economy. It has, via this DAO, a form of like political system where people can get involved and want to contribute to the active economy of that country, of that nation. And I wanted to give a few concrete examples of how like people are going to get involved and how as well, like, I believe we'll see emerge new leaders, we'll see emerge new voice from the communities that will progressively represent the interest from the members and the community members and allow, hopefully, that economy to sustain itself over the long run. The first of all, like, the DAO will also be involved in decision that relates to the product roadmap, which feature we should prioritize in the development, which gameplay, which mechanics on the avatar, we call them 3C, like can they jump, double jump, run, fly, etc. Rewards and the distribution of rewards across the various initiatives we already have in place, like game jams, events, seasons, the status of the community, of the players and the members, like they could define that if you have a certain number of lands, if you have a certain number of achievements and completion as a players, if you contributed to publish and experience, your status will be that, which give you a certain number of more rights and so on. All of that could actually impact the development or impact the constitution of the DAO. The DAO can also start to contribute and see that like certain of the projects and certain of the initiative that will be supported could be touching sustainability or education or project. And ultimately, the community will also vote and support and have an understanding that the project that it should support should lead toward a certain impact back into the DAO.
Yeah, it's very interesting about, the partners' role as well. And I think over the last 12 months, been watching how many partners that you have onboarded, you have created special programs for partners as well, not just for community. So yeah, you maybe want to spend a little bit of time to kind of tell us about the key partners and the latest initiatives that you have done with them.
There's a few things that I'm thinking about. Like, yes, we do have initiative to onboard more builders, more partners. We have like the Launchpad, the Creator Launchpad, which helps to give lands to people with great ideas to support them. We have the Builders Bootcamp, which is a global roadshow of around 10 cities around the world to keep educating more creators. We have the Builder Challenge for 10 weeks, rewarding 1.5 million sand to the creators who publish and attract users. I think people haven't yet realized, because Sandbox has almost 6 million users with a wallet now. We've been one of the leading platforms that brings people into Web3. Because we bring those 400 brands that acquire land in Sandbox, driving, like you say, Web2 to Web3. And now, like, through the DAO, those landowners, so those brands ultimately, when a Warner Music, when a Walking Dead, when a Ubisoft, they own land on Sandbox, they also own voting powers in the DAO. And the way I see it is Sandbox is a great way to onboard more brands into Web3. They don't need any specific knowledge about NFTs. They don't need to hire developers to write smart contracts, to launch their collection, to engage their community, to make their game, and to reward them with their NFTs. All of that has been abstracted, fully made simple for them. Fortnite doesn't have a DAO. Roblox doesn't have a DAO. Minecraft doesn't have a DAO. So we have to educate people as well that they have this new power, that they have this new possibility to express themselves, and to reward them to to encourage them to vote more and more and to express their opinion, to express their voice.
How are you planning to onboard all this fragmented community in Web3? And then is there anything else that you are doing to kind of make the user experience super easy for the Web2 community to get into the Sandbox?
You know, we've done it before. When you look at 2020-21, Sandbox was one of the first decentralized virtual world that pushed for interoperability and enable a lot of external collections of NFTs, PFPs, like, I don't know, Bored Ape, Clonex, Cool Cat, World of Women, just to name a few, to have more utility for their tokens, to be able to play and interact in Sandbox, to create in Sandbox. So we feel like today, if you look at what is the Bored Ape of 2024, it's a lot around like meme coin, a new ecosystem on other blockchain, Bitcoin originals and runes, maybe like immutable, Base, Binance Smart Chain. So how do we connect all those ecosystems? I think the approach and the philosophy remain the same. Like, it shouldn't matter where you actually hold your NFT and token, on which blockchain. It's just technology underneath. What matters is what kind of experience you can offer to those token holders, for people to not have to worry so much about the technology and just enjoy the experience of having their asset, having their token somewhere and still being able to play with them somewhere else. That's how we are going to open to new communities. That's how we keep attracting and onboard new users. And hopefully we become this universal platform that bridge different ecosystem of Web3.
Are you thinking about a new ways to give avatar identity or link the identity of the real world, user to the virtual users?
So the way it matters for the DAO for the moment, I would say, is proof of identity, because you vote with your wallet. And when you vote with your wallet, you can have one person behind multiple wallets. We would like to have, when we account for voters, we don't want people to try to game the system to up their voting power and stuff, even though it's impossible with the rules of the voting power today. I think the way to answer your question, the way it'd be interesting for me, for the DAO to look at these things, is to implement a kind of a proof of identity that would be required for you to vote, so we can be protected against bot.
Ultimately, there's a few important aspects. Like, first, we'd like people to be able to choose their digital identity. So for the first time, choose like which community you belong to, what is your appearance. But it's just step one. Like, the notion of identity doesn't limit itself to like how you look, but also to the action you do, your achievements, the reputation you build. But nobody yet focused enough on like how are you able to build an on-chain reputation that starts with your first step in a Web3 application like Sandbox, and every event you complete, every action you do, in a way will count toward like a positive score on you that you could use for, I don't know, real life application as well in the future, your job application, your credit score, etc.
Do you have any plans to work on some kind of AI integration or anything that is in the roadmap for the Sandbox?
So we already work in several ways with AI. The first one is like AI has been at work in making the metaverse a safer place for everyone to interact. Without even you noticing, like, AI is already moderating all the conversation, so there's no toxicity in between players, which makes Sandbox a very friendly place to come and play at. The second is like we're looking at AI into like driving more immersion for users. And then we've looked at AI to give more life to NPCs, non-playable characters. It's something we're discussing a lot. Right now we're waiting to see some experiment to see if like it actually really drive more engagement, retention and monetization eventually. And then AI can help on so many other ways, like creativity, marketing, generating concepts in a matter of seconds for certain lands, brainstorming, music and sound as well. So we are looking holistically about it.
Very exciting about the DAO. So I think anybody listening that is a creator that owns the land and want to get involved, definitely vote, because it's about engagement that we can drive change. So don't be shy, just get involved with the Sandbox, and I'm really looking forward to see what is next and all the great plans that you have got ahead.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and see you everyone in the metaverse and soon on the DAO as well. We count on you.